everybody to the Single and Stilettos Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Tripp, and he's a dating coach for men at trippadvice.com, and I'm so excited to have him here today because we're going to talk about the top 5 dating mistakes that women make. But before we jump into that, Tripp, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you.
Sure, absolutely. I'm a dating coach for men, doing it for the past 5 years, helping men gain confidence in dating, raise their self-esteem so they can start attracting women of their choice and not settle. So, I take guys out, I help them meet more women, I teach them about flirting, attraction, confidence, and, I got the inside scoop on what men want, so let's get into it.
Great. Well, tell us the first big mistake that women make when it comes to dating.
Okay, so here's the first one. So I feel like there's times when, we're going for the check and we go to actually pay for the meal, and the woman doesn't even try to go for it. And that always causes us to be like, you know what, it'd be nice to see if they just tried. For the first couple of dates, I understand that us guys, we need to pay for it. I tell my students, my clients that they have to pay for the meal, especially for the first couple of dates.
Right.
But it's always nice to know that she's actually trying. I mean, I remember this one girl that I dated many years ago, and I took her on many, many, many dates. I mean, somewhere around 6 or 7 dates, and she never even went, and she never even said thank you at the end of all the dates. So,
oh my God.
It's just really, that was such a deal breaker for me, I mean, it's one thing not to go for the check, but another thing just to not even say thank you, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to just show that you actually care by making some kind of move like that.
I'm glad you clarified, though, between the first couple of dates and her reaching for the check, because I get that question all the time, is should a woman offer to pay on the first date? And you said you tell your students that they should actually pay on the first date, right? The
Absolutely.
Men.
Yep.
So ladies, don't go for the fake wallet pull on the first or second date. If you want to pay for it on the third or fourth or whatever date, like Tripp said, you should, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so tell us tip number 2 about the biggest dating mistake women make.
Okay, so the second one I have is this. Sometimes in the first, like 1 to 4 dates, there's some women out there who they kind of act like they don't care. And I think that maybe a woman who's kind of shy, who's a little bit nervous to show her feelings. Mm-hmm. But if you like a guy, let him know. Okay, it doesn't, and it can be in many different forms, but let us know. I feel like sometimes you kind of seem very neutral about what's happening, or you don't show excitement about going out with the guy, and it confuses us because you still want to see us, but we're confused if you like us or not, and this totally messes with our heads, right? So it's good if you can show us a little bit more that you care.
So can you give a couple of examples? Because I can also see how a woman could go overboard, and then it's a turnoff to a guy, and he's like, I don't like you that much. Like,
well, I mean, there's this, is like, it's very rare that in the first, few dates, a woman will actually reach out and ask the guy out. Okay? So it's always best that, you can actually make the move to ask us out to go. The first couple dates I understand, but after that, make that move. Because if we keep asking you out and you keep saying yes and we keep going out, yet you're not showing affection, you're not really asking to see us again, you're not calling us, you're not texting us, it's kind of this one-sided thing happening.
Right.
That confuses us, and again, that's going to cause men to kind of pull away, because even though you're there and you're showing up, we don't really think you want to be there. Like, look, you've nothing else better to do.
Or they're just going out to get a free meal, right? I bet that goes through men's heads, right?
Yes, exactly. So we're just like, all right, forget this girl. We don't even think that she's actually interested for real.
Right. Okay, what's your third tip?
Okay, third tip is this. When you're going out with a guy, I don't think it's the best idea to hold back too much on being physical. It's okay to be able to, wait until you guys actually go all the way with each other, but, if you like us and we don't see, anything more like, kissing or taking it to the next level, and it takes a long time to get there, this is the same thing we're going to kind of go back to are we friend zoned? Does she really like us? Like, what's really going on here?
Right.
Right?
Well,
So it's causing this confusion, and this is a mistake that women make, is that maybe they might hold off too long on getting more physically intimate.
right. That makes sense.
And
Okay.
that's a tough one, I know, because, everyone's kind of, goes at their own pace, but it's something to think about.
No, that you're absolutely right. Okay, so what's number 4?
Okay, so number 4 is something that we talked about in previous episodes, but it's about asking questions, right? So again, the same idea we were talking about weeks back is that when we're on a date with you, again, we just want to know that, because we're there. It's not hard. If we show up to the date, we like you. End of story. This isn't rocket science. The guys are desperately trying to understand the women and what they're thinking, right? So again, it's just asking us questions and trying to get to know us on a deeper level. That's going to make us be like, okay, she's interested, and it's going to make the relationship escalate to the next level, right? So the biggest mistake women are making is that they keep on chatting away, and we don't have any time to get our stories in there, or the things that that we're into out there on the table. And it's kind of this one-sided, it's starting off with this one-sided relationship, which really isn't a good idea.
No, and I hear that all the time too from my male clients, is that the women on the first date, you'll talk way too much about yourself, and you don't even ask the guy any questions about himself, and he feels like all I'm here to do is listen to her talk.
Right.
So, okay, so what's the 5th biggest dating mistake that women make?
Okay, so the fifth mistake that women make is, at times I feel like, they don't really, give us a chance, right? So there's times when they don't really actually give the man a chance to, basically perform in such a way where we can show you that, we're good guys. Okay, so a lot of women might, a lot of women are kind of this anti-chivalry. There's this new feminist movement happening. Okay, and
I
you're
think it
smiling
happened
'cause-
back in the 70s.
Okay, well, I feel like it's even more apparent now, right? Is that
Hmm.
it's like, let us be able to hold the door open for you. Let us do those chivalrous moves. Let us even take out the chair for you to sit down. Let us do those things for you. Because when we can do those things for you, again, something we've talked about previously, it makes us feel like a man. It makes us feel more masculine, and that then just makes us feel more attracted to you, right? So in terms of chivalry, I get a lot of women who say chivalry's dead, but in some cases, I don't feel like they're letting it happen. So let those things happen.
Now, I have a question for you, because I also hear it from the other side, because I work with a lot of women that I date coach, and they'll tell me that a guy won't even do that. So what does a woman do if a guy's not opening the door? And I get sometimes not pulling out the chair, because not every man does that, but at least opening the door. What if he's not doing that for her? How can she get him to do that?
Well, honestly, I think that's a deal breaker. I don't think that's something you can get a guy to do.
Hmm.
I mean, unless he's seeing a coach like me where I can tell him. Okay,
Exactly.
but look for the things that he might be doing, because some guys are more classically chivalrous, and some guys might be doing other things that are chivalrous, but it's kind of their way of doing it. So don't look for all the classic signs. Maybe kind of look out and see if he's doing anything else before you kind of jump to conclusions that he's not being the gentleman that you think he's trying to be.
I think that's a great point, is, maybe he's not doing exactly that, but maybe he does all these other things. So don't discount him just because of that one thing.
Exactly.
So it sounds like to me that these tips that you just gave our ladies, it sounds like, ladies, you're leaving men confused about a lot of things on a date. So it's about really showing guys affection, letting them do things for you, having a conversation, everything, right, Tripp?
That's exactly right. Nailed it.
Great. Well, Tripp, how can our audience find you?
You can find me by going to my website, trippadvice.com. That's Tripp with 2 P's, and check out all my information there, and enjoy.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stilettos Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you'd like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. If you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. And if you would like to get our free report on the top 10 secrets on what attracts a man and what turns him off, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.